Ecko Media, connecting voices.
Magistrate Mustapha Brahmaja has sentenced Zainab Sharif to 4 years and 2 months imprisonment at the Pademba Road Magistrate Court No. 1 in Freetown for hate speech and incitement, which they said is against Cybercrime Act of 2021 and Public Order Act, after she has spent 58 days in remand. This was her 9th appearance before Magistrate Mustapha Brahmaja, after making inflammatory remarks at the APC Mammoth meeting held on January 31st this year at the Atuga Mini Stadium in Freetown. The court found Zainab Sharif guilty on hate speech and incitement linked to the statement she made on January 31st, 2026, after spending 58 days in remand. Zainab Sharif was escorted from court immediately after the sentence was slammed in Pademba Road Magistrate Court. Zainab Sharif will serve a term at the Female Correctional Center at Special Court in Freetown, excluding the 58 days she already spent on remand. Family members, sympathizers, supporters and friends were crying at the scene as it was full of emotions after the court passed its verdict. Family members, sympathizers and supporters who were there pleaded with His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio for a presidential pardon for their sister and friend Zainab Sharif. Others says the judgment is not fair, as Zainab Sharif is a mother to a son and to many other children whom she takes care of need her greatly. Some still trust in God that she will be released soon.
There's so many people that support what Zainab Sharif says so. But still a great symbol. But Zainab Sharif not supposed to go to jail.
We are the ones who stand up for government. There are people who have said the worst thing. I'm a chief at Congo Market. This is not good at all. She should have been granted bail. She doesn't deserve it at all, at all. We need justice from God. Her mother, her child, she is too young to stay by herself.
Why for going to jail? Why for going to jail? You're not supposed to be so.
Or is he being married for the nation? Let God forgive him. For them, now forget, or you know, sabi nothing.
I pray God forgive Zainab Sharif for her statements. Maybe she was not conscious. I was expecting a bail and I am not in any way related to Zainab Sharif, but she is my Sierra Leonean sister.
But now the sister is Sierra Leonean. So I don't get no nothing which I will just say. I just pray to God. When they say this, I let God guide them inside you. Till until the time done.
They are independent, say they can. When they ask, may they go pardon us for we.
We are pleading for a presidential pardon on the 27th during the Sierra Leone Independence Day. We are not pleading with anyone except God.
They beg Papa government. They're not already jail, but who they beg? May they pardon her. Sharif, Zainab Sharif, they lead with the woman, the most, we look up to her.
We know Zainab will one day become president, as she is soft-hearted and she is very kind to people. She's the one taking care of me. Her son needs her, but we leave everything in the hands of the Almighty Allah, as He has the final say.
Who are going to take care of me education one? Who are going to look up to me? Who are going to look up to me? In Pekin and one life is responsible for Pekin.
And she's got children and young children. But let's hope that the justice that's been melted against Zainab today continues to be the status quo for justice in Sierra Leone. We have been here every day.
Nasu Fofana, former gender advisor to the president, Anis Bai Kuruma, Edwina Jamiru, and plenty of other people were at the court giving support to Zainab. For Ecko Newspaper, Marie Bilkish Dumbia reports.
Orphans around the world remain among the most vulnerable group in society, often relying on non-profit organizations and philanthropists for shelter, care, hope for the better future. While these efforts are commendable, many orphanages continue to face serious challenges. Benjamin Keto, a social worker at the Variety Children's and Service Orphanage Home in Freetown, has raised concern about the welfare and living conditions within the facility. In an interview with Ecko Media, Ecko revealed that the orphanages faces significant difficulties, particularly during the rainy season. They explained the poor condition of the roof leaves, residents exposed to harsh weather affecting their safety and comfort.
Flooding is one of the challenges we faced here. And last year, water flooded all over the children's rooms.
In 2025, the water being put inside to the gas room.
They also highlighted the health risk posed by the nearby dump site, noting that it has a serious impact on the well-being of children and staff living at the facility. Furthermore, Gator stated that malaria remains the most common illness affecting the children. Although the orphanage has a first aid clinic, cases are frequent and managing them continue to be challenged. He added that many of the children often stayed up late, while it also affects their overall health.
Well, the major
affected children is malaria because of the mosquitoes bite, and also the smoke from the dump site cause severe cough on the orphans in the home.
But I'm picking there, they're not sleep quick. We get training for first aid, and they not with their register.
Keto is also calling on government and other organizations supporting orphanages to urgently intervene and help improve conditions at the facility, making it safer and more suitable for children.
I am calling on the government and other NGO organizations to intervene and support us. We want to make the home safe and conducive for the children.
So if the government help, if not for relocate this facility and also for clear this side for let the water they go down, so maybe government and others will help organizations make them step in.
For Ecko Media News, Frances Lamin.
They are the engines for capital's fish trading, yet they remain forgotten by development. Regardless of ongoing efforts to improve sanitation nationwide, fish folks at informal landing sites report a daily struggle for basic amenities. Here is a report that on at current happening at fishing communities. At Shella Water Walk, Unkia Godrich, Ibrahim Soriyila highlighted some of the basic amenities lacking.
We don't get water facility, we don't get cold room, then even the site for dry fish, we don't even get ourselves.
We don't have water facility, a cold room, and we don't have a place to dry our fish.
The place, all the angle we both say, you know, say because the place Shella, all the angle, where small breeze blow, the boat say the go.
Anita Jallo, a fishmonger at the same wharf, talked about how the trading in fish has become expensive.
250, I sell now 230 for let me money come on.
I bought this fish at 250 leones. If I can't sell at a desired price, I have to lower the price to 230 leones for me not to run at a total loss.
This is the money you bought my boat and pack like you have to, but fear no the ice on it.
She said that at some point she had to devalue her product so it could sell because ice is not available.
If I bought it at 700 leones, but I can't get the desired offer, I will sell at 650 leones because I don't have ice.
700, I sell at 650 for let me money come on numbers. They cannot get ice.
Paul Samai, a boatmaster at Riversville Wharf, highlighted the three things mostly needed in the wharf.
Where they are right now. One,
cold room. Because after we are fishing, we need a place to preserve them, and if not sold, can sell another day. Petrol is now at 35 leons per liter. We are using over 80 liters. Don't have help from anywhere. Only God Almighty is helping us. There are times fishmongers pay less for fish, and you have spent all your money on fuel. How can you sustain yourself with your family? The second is light and water facilities. 3, we need a safe place to dock. 4, the government should pay some attention to local fishing.
Down on one side first, cold room. 2, we need light and water facility. 3, we need a safety sign.
Fishermen are migrating to Guinea due to better facility, leading to loss of local economic activities. For Ecko News, Nelson Cocker reporting.
Recent happenings around the world. To start with, Nigeria, Boko Haram insurgents killed 1 colonel and 6 soldiers
during a raid on a military base in Borno State. The attack targeted troops attached to the 242 Battalion, striking as the military was preparing a renewed offensive against the terrorists. Report says Colonel Mohammed is the latest in stream of senior officers killed by Boko Haram elements in less than 2 weeks. In addition to, upon the first public hearing of the state versus Okello Christopher Onion in the case of a recent massacre that led to the death of 4 nursery school pupils in Kampala, Uganda, the accused person had pleaded not guilty on the 13th April 2026. During the court proceedings, parents and guardians of the deceased persons were left into total dilemma and emotional insanity. The case was later adjourned for further hearing.
Mr. Okello, is it true? No, my lord. I think otherwise.
Meanwhile, in northern India, a mountain collapsed on the road highway, leaving no death casualty or property damage, but with so many questions in the hearts of people across the globe, as there is war, hyperinflation, and now earthquake. However, in the US, police in New York have arrested 100+ anti-war protesters who were staging a sitting outside the offices of senators demanding an end to US weapon sales to Israel.
Stop the bombs and the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Stop the bombs and the killing! Schumer, Gillibrand, raise your spine! Schumer, Gillibrand, raise your spine! Schumer, Gillibrand, raise your spine!
There's a genocide going on. There's a genocide. They're killing it in Lebanon. They're killing in Syria. They're killing in Gaza. They're just killing.
Stop the bombs and the killing! Fight like hell for the living! Stop the bombs and the killing! Fight like hell!
Still with the issue of the US President Donald Trump and the Pope Leo, tweeted with the emphasis of the Pope not mentioning the fears Christians had during the COVID saga. Consequently, in the US, Israel and Iran war, in response to President Trump's tweet, the Iran authority classified the blockade as global bullying and a tactic to forcefully sell the US oil. Israel and Iran war to continue in 14 days' time. Hundreds of Iranians rallied on the 13th of April 2026 in the emphasis to dismiss threats made by President Trump to close the Strait of Hormuz. In their standing order, protesters said that they are prepared for any upcoming advances.
For the living, it's all not war crime. The people, not war crime. The people, not war crime. The people, not war crime. Healthcare, not warfare.
Our senators need to listen to their constituents. Right now, the U.S. is continuing to send endless amounts of money and weapons to Israel. As it does that, it is bombing Beirut, it is occupying South Lebanon, it bombs synagogues and universities in Iran, and it is continuing the genocide in Gaza. My friends, my loved ones in Beirut are devastated. They are blowing up entire villages. This is a campaign of ethnic cleansing across southern Lebanon.
Stephanie Dujarric, UN Secretary General spokesman, in his address on the 13th April 2026 said that the UN Secretary General stresses that all parties of the conflict must respect navigational freedom, as there are more than 20,000 seafarers within the Strait of Hormuz.
The General stresses that all parties to this conflict must respect freedom of navigation, including in the Strait of Hormuz, in line with international law. We need to remember that some 20,000 seafarers have been caught up in this conflict and are currently stranded on ships, with hardships increasing daily. Disruptions in the maritime trade through the Strait of Hormuz have already had a direct impact well beyond the immediate region, with increased global economic fragility and insecurity in many sectors. Given the deeply rooted differences, an agreement cannot be reached overnight. and the Secretary General calls on the talks to continue constructively in order for an agreement to be reached. At the same time, the ceasefire must absolutely be respected and all violations must cease.
For Ecko Media International News, Khadijatu Sosomara.
This is Ecko Media, connecting voices.